Hey everyone, it's Marianne from the New York City Organization of Public Service Retirees. It is late. It is almost 11:30 at night, and it is Thursday, August 1st. So it's been a really crazy day, and you can see I'm very exhausted. It's been one thing after another today. But I did want to tell you that you will probably hear me talking tomorrow on WBAI in the morning at 7 a.m. About our copay case. So our copay case is the Bianculli case, and it had to do with the city charging or the MLC and the city negotiating copays and Emblem charging us copays in our GHI senior care. And they were $15 copays that they implemented for January of 2022. And we were able to get a stay on those copays because it breached the contract. And we had talked about this on and off for the last couple of months. And even in the last few weeks, said that even after the argument we had a couple weeks ago, that there would be a decision soon. And there was a likelihood that that stay would get lifted because Emblem Health had changed the contract in negotiations with the city and the MLC. Now, when they fixed the contract, they fixed the breach. And if you remember, every SPD that you were given said that the city would pay the 20% that Medicare didn't cover. Medicare would pay your first 80%, senior care would pay the last 20. When they started to charge you a copay, that breached the 80-20 rule. And 80% Medicare, 20% senior care. So now they weren't paying 20%. They were paying whatever was left over after you paid your $15. And in some cases, it was next to nothing or nothing. So it wasn't 20%. Nowhere in the contract did it say that you would pay the $15 first. We made the argument to the city, to the court, and the judge's decision came in today that they were lifting the stay because the contract had been corrected. So they could have started the copays effective today, but the agreement was that they would now be able to impose copays effective January 1 of 2025. Okay, so we do have some options of being able to appeal this. We're still kind of debating what we're going to do. We might actually file this appeal, but we want to talk about it a little bit more. And with everything happening today, it was just a lot to get through, and I could not get the whole team together. So we will be discussing that next week, but we will also talk about it a little bit more tomorrow night in the Friday night update when you see me again tomorrow night. I might mention it tomorrow morning, but if I do, I wanted to make sure that you did see it here, and it's not just the first place that you hear me talking about it tomorrow. As I think this mayor has a problem with his talking points, as he was in Riverdale, and you saw the video that I posted yesterday that he was in at the Y and in Riverdale in the Bronx, basically saying that he didn't, I guess insinuating that he didn't want the Medicare Advantage plan, or we should just fight this because there needs to be a resolution. Threw Michael Mulgrew under the bus. This is Mulgrew's fault. He started this and the stabilization fund, and now he's backing away from it. I mean, it was the most insane town hall I think I've seen in a long time. But my opinion on that is then I guess he was kind of speaking from his mind, but then today I get another call that City Hall's comment was Medicare Advantage is better than traditional Medicare and it'll save the city money and you should just go ahead and do it. And the court just keep fighting it. And if the court makes a determination, plan is better and they still have to save money. And I'm like, those are such old talking points. The courts have shot that down. Experts have shot that down. Our attorneys have shot that down. And you've been saying the same garbage for 3 years. They're not listening. And so I don't know what the heck is going on in City Hall, but at this point, I've about had it with Mayor Adams. And my position on this is going to be, you who live in the city of New York need to start paying attention to city council members and the mayor and whatever candidate wants to run against them. It is now going to be our job to find out their position on protecting Medicare from being privatized and a healthcare benefit being promised to you as a retired worker for the city of New York. And whoever chooses to help us, not the ones that say in a newspaper, hey, or a radio show, or a newsletter that they're sending out to constituents, I support retirees. Well, are you going to do a bill to help us, or do you just support our messaging? Because it's very easy for an elected official to say they support you, but if they don't do anything about that, when you need them to either have the ability, like the mayor, to withdraw all of his appeals or to actually co-sponsor legislation that would protect you, then all you're doing is pandering, like the mayor did yesterday. Mayor pandered to every senior citizen sitting in the Y in Riverdale, New York, because yesterday he said, nope, I didn't want Medicare Advantage. That's my health care. Nope. And then today, that's not what he's saying. Today, let me see if I could pull up what he is saying, because it's definitely opposite than what he said yesterday. So today, the official comment out of City Hall is skyrocketing health costs pose huge challenges for the city as we strive to continue to provide high-quality healthcare without premiums, a rarity among employers nationwide. The Medicare Advantage plan is part of a comprehensive approach to tackle this challenge, and it includes a procurement for a new plan covering both active and pre-Medicare retirees, which is intended to save over $1 billion per year. We understand concerns about any change in healthcare coverage. The city's plan, which was negotiated closely with and supported by the Municipal Labor Committee, would improve upon retirees' current plans and save $600 million annually. We will let the appeal process play out in court, and we hope to implement this plan and achieve these much-needed savings. Now, for any one of you that messaged me, texted me, emailed me, PM'd me, and asked me, well, so-and-so sent out a newsletter. I saw that Shahana Hanif put out a newsletter. I saw that this one put out a newsletter. Did they tell you that they would get on your bill, or did they just say, yeah, I like what you're saying. Yes, I support you. Yeah, how do you support me? You have the power to do something. What could you do for me? Otherwise, they don't really support you. So the mayor yesterday saying kinda he wasn't supporting this plan, and then today he backs off what he said, knowing that the unions don't represent retirees. And then this whole mess about this new RFP supposed to save $1 billion a year. If healthcare costs are skyrocketing and the cost of everything increased, how is he going to save $1 billion? Let me tell you. But come on, you know. He's passing costs on to you, and he's giving you a more garbage plan. Your copays, your deductibles, your prior authorizations, all that's going to get worse. That's how he's going to save $1 billion a year. You can't claim you have skyrocketing healthcare costs and that this new negotiation would save $1 billion and be better than what you have. I always say I was born on a Monday, but it wasn't this past Monday. So Mayor Adams, you're not fooling anybody. This stock message that your office keeps putting out is yesterday's news. Experts, the judges, 10 of them in 2 different courts, 9 times have said that exactly what you just said here is full of caca. This is not real. The plan that you're trying to force us into isn't real. There is no savings. The IBO even confirmed that. This is just a kabuki dance that you and OLR and OMB are making. So, to the retirees, we're going to stand strong and we're staying in court because clearly no one so far has our back but us. Not this mayor, not any city council member, not the speaker, nobody. Nobody. And this organization was able to organize almost 50,000 retirees in less than 3 years. Our anniversary is August 13th. So I need you to make a commitment. If you are a New York City voter, you make sure you're registered for any of the next upcoming elections. And any candidate that tells you in writing that they will sponsor your legislation, and we could do a resolution or a memo or the pledges like we used to, that they will support or they will co-sign or introduce legislation to protect your traditional Medicare and benefits that were promised to you. Any incumbent that can't say that, they can kiss their office goodbye, because you are going to go out and vote them out of office. And if the mayor doesn't have your back, then you need to find a mayor that will. So you need to ask the mayor, do you have my back? Do you have my 6? And if you don't, you'll be looking for a new job, because that's the answer. So guys, I'm going to get to bed because I have a 6:30 a.m. radio check, sound check for our 7 a.m. show with me and Juliana tomorrow. We will be discussing Mayor Adams, and we will also be discussing the failures of the World Trade Center National Provider Network with Sedgwick. So join us tomorrow. If you can make it, get up at 7, because we will start that show at 7 a.m. and we will take your phone calls. Also, if you don't make it, we will be replaying that show at noon on WBAI at 99.5 FM. But try to make it, because we would love to hear from you. I'm sure you will all have something to say about Mayor Adams not helping you, not helping us, not pulling back his appeals in our 9 wins, nothing. And then flip-flopping on his message in 24 hours. So you guys, you have a great night. I'm going to sleep. I will see you in the morning. And then tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, we will continue this conversation about the CoPay case as well as Mayor Adams. Have a good night, guys. Ciao.